Saturday morning, kids are at sleep, so I snuck out to start a little project. A friend of mine has a cool old snowmobile, but it needs some upgrades. So he sent me a package of his new shocks. They look like this. Nice parts, looking good. The old damper looks like this. The problem he has is that there are some differences. The bolt hole on the stock one is 10 mil, and the new one is 12 mil. There is also a difference in width on the connection point. You can see it like that. It's there are some minor differences. So my plan here is to press out this sleeve and make a new one in 2 pieces that you can put in from each side. They will meet in the middle with a 10 millimeter hole through it, and they also will be a bit wider, so this has the same width as the stock one when it's done. So I plan to make this out of ordinary steel rod. So starting off with a piece like this, and I need to make 4 of them, because, or 8 pieces. They will be used in 4 mounting points, 2 on each damper. So yeah, I'll start rigging up the lathe, and we will machine down, make a nice surface, drill some holes, and make some steel bushings. Okay, see you over there at the lathe. So here we are at the lathe. Just brought out a 10 millimeter drill bit. Cleaned off the lathe a little bit because it was pretty nasty. Been a while since I used it. So I decided to go for the 20 mil stock. It will. I pressed out the steel bushings, as I said, and I will plan to make a bushing like this that goes inside, so it meets in the middle, and it will also have a build out of 5 millimeters. The stock head is 30 mil, and this one is about 19. So if I gain 10 mil in total, I think this will work just fine. So I will start making one section, and then if it looks good and feels good, I will repeat it 4 more times. Yep. Okay, let's get to it. So now the plan is to face off this one so it's flat and square, and then I'll use the center punch like so, and I will poke a little dent or a little concave in it before I start drilling to make sure that the hole is dead center. Okay. Okay, so now the first thing is done. We made the whole 10 millimeters, and I just took off the rough surface to make it shiny and clean all the way. So now I will be making the part that goes, or the part of the bushing that goes inside, and it's 14. Let me just measure the steel sleeve, just to be sure. So this steel sleeve came out just by pressing it. It's a pretty tight fit, but it It did okay to come out. I was a bit curious if it was molded together or something, but it was just pressed in. It is 14.8. So I will need to make the inner part of the bushing 14.8. Just double checking, we should be at 15.5 and we are at 15.51. So, all right. Now it should be at 15 or 14.9 and we are at 15 dead zero, so that's perfect. Use my favorite tool once more. Okay, I'll get back to you when I'm done with all 6, and we need to deburr this. They have some. So now I'm just dressing up this bushing, trying to remove this burr and make it a little convex, so that the center surface hits the bracket first and not the whole flange at the same time. I think that would bind it up a little bit, so I'll put in a little bit of curve to it. Not much, but a little bit. I don't recommend you using the file as I do. It's It's quite dangerous. If you jam the file in here, you will get it in your body probably. So that's just a bad habit of mine. But when I do, I always make sure that that this part is outside of that, so it doesn't jam, and hopefully that is less likely to kill me. Like so. And we are all done with the machining. Okay, I will take you over to the workbench. Back at the damper, just put in the first one, and I got the second one here. This should just press in, and it should meet in the middle, hopefully. That's a nice fit. I like that one. That won't go anywhere. Bolt fit perfectly. Just a little clearance. You need that. It's gonna pivot around this bushing, so it needs a little bit clearance and a little bit of lubrication. But this feels really good. All right, then I'll get my calipers and we'll see if it's 30 mil. This one is 29.9. This one is just a little bit over 30, 31, but I think it needs to be clamped together. I will do that one time and we will remeasure it. I'll just get me some tools. Just give it a little squeeze to make sure that the bushings are totally in the center of the rubber grommet. This feels nice, so I will re-loosen and I will remeasure. Yeah, it's still at 31. Maybe I should shave off some a couple of tenths on this one, just to make sure it fits. Don't want to have any issues with the fitment. So I'll take them out and shave off just a tiny bit. So here we have the finished products. Plenty of these, 8 in total, and I think they will work just fine. They are not 100%. There are some tenths off in the length direction because all this is done by manually on the lathe. There's no CNC in this house. So, and for this job I prefer to do the job in a reasonable amount of time instead of getting it down to the last hundredths of an inch, of a millimeter. But this will work just fine. These are going to inside a bracket that will clamp over like this, and if there is a little bit of playground inside here, there will be filled with grease, and it also will be, the force will go in the other direction. So I'm not so concerned about that, and they are between 29.2 and 30. So there is a tenth of these being the lowest and these being the highest. But okay, I think that will pass the inspection. Now it's just a matter of cleaning those steel bungs in acetone, and I will give them a short little primer so they don't start rusting, and I will mount them to the shocks and bring them back to the customer so he can ride his snowmobile. So yeah, okay. Hi. The bushings are now painted black. Used the etch primer on them, and they have been curing for like 5 hours. So they are nice and shiny and not at least protected against rust, as this is ordinary steel. What's left to do now is to lube everything up and mount them in the shocks and send them off to the customer. So yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this lube, and I'm gonna start putting them in. They should slide right in, like so. This is not a big job, but it's a quite a practical job if you don't have the right spacers and the right bushings. The things like this is pretty hard to come by if you want to buy something. You usually need someone to fix parts like this, and so it's nice to be able to help my friend out, and to show you guys a little bit of what I'm doing. There's a lot of different projects inside this garage, so I'll be doing my best in the future to show you a little bit more about what I do and what I work on. And if you made it this far in the video, I'm hoping you will continue to follow my channel and hopefully consider to subscribe. That has a lot to do with the algorithms in YouTube. So if you don't subscribe, you may miss some updates. Like so and like so. So this fat is some fluid film stuff. I don't know the correct. It's gel. So it works really good. It's really repelling the water and stuff. So, and it doesn't damage the rubber, and that is important when you're lubing something that has a connection to rubber. You should be a little bit mindful about what type of grease you use. Some of them, they actually hurt rubber, some types of rubbers and so on. So there are the bushing in place. Looks quite good, and I'm eager to see it on the snowmobile. Maybe I can get a small video of the snowmobile in action. It's quite a cool snowmobile. It's an old one, but it's a two-stroke and it's pretty angry. So that's always a nice combination. Angry two-strokes. We like that. Yeah, and the bolt goes in there. All right. So now this job is done, and I have plenty more waiting behind me here. So I will be right back to you guys when I get those jobs started. Okay. Thank you for following along. I really appreciate it. It's always nice when somebody finds it interesting and watch the video all the way to the end. Okay, have a nice weekend. Bye bye.